Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video I'm going to be bringing you another house tutorial. This time I'm going to be showing you how to make Mr. Krabs' house from SpongeBob. And I want to throw this right up here at the beginning of the video, just as I did with Squidward's video. I have not made an interior for this house. There is no interior included in this tutorial. I'm really sorry, couldn't force myself to make one. No excuses, I just didn't feel like it. So I really do apologise if you were expecting one. However, there is enough room on the inside for you to be able to make your own if you want to. Depends if you're like me, maybe you just care about the outsides. That's enough talking. If you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need black wool, dark grey, nether brick stairs. You'll also need spruce and oak wood planks. You'll also need glass block. You could also use glass pane, however on this rare occasion I will recommend the block. And finally you'll need yourself some wooden doors. So once you've got all of your materials and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it right here. You're going to want to start this off with a row of 8 black wool in a row on the floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like so. Now, the shape that we're going to be making is kind of hard to describe in house terms, but what we're going to be essentially making is an oval shape. Now, I'm going to explain this like it's a piece of pixel art. So, you're going to want to take a bird's eye view of the row of 8 that you've just made. You're going to want to come all the way over to the right hand side here, and from this most right block, you're going to want to do 2 upright diagonals. So 1, 2. You're then going to want to go right 1 and then up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're then going to want to go left 1 and then do 2 up left diagonals. 1, 2. You're then going to want to go left by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're then going to want to do 2 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2. You're then going to want to go left 1 and then down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're then going to want to go right 1 and then finish this all off by connecting it together again with a bottom right diagonal to give you this shape right here. As I said, kind of like an oval shape. Close enough. As close as you can get to an oval in Minecraft anyway. Hopefully that was easy enough to follow, but if not, this will make it easier. The top and the bottom row, the 2 long rows of the oval, they are in total 8 blocks long, and the 2 side rows are in total 5 blocks long. Knowing that, everything else should be easy enough to make. Pause this if necessary. Once you've made your oval shape, here's what you want to do. You're going to want to stack 7 rows of black onto the oval that you've just made. So you want to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm just going to go all around on top of the oval until every block is as high as that row of 7 that I've just thrown on the front of the oval. So I'm just going to keep going round and round until I have stacked 7 rows on top of my original shape. So I'm not going to leave this in the tutorial because I don't want this to be an extra half an hour long. We've got to do this quite a few times. So I will be back once I have my finished giant oval. So this is what it should look like once you've stacked on your 7 layers of black wool. So that should now be in total 8 blocks high. Just to reiterate that for you, you started with the 1 base layer, thrown 7 on top, 8 blocks high. So what you want to do for the next section of the house is this. Now this is somewhat difficult for me to explain again, but it should be really easy to see what I'm doing. The best way that I can describe it is this, and I'm just going to describe it whilst I do it. You want to make a slightly smaller oval, 1 block higher and 1 block inwards in relation to the top row of the oval that you've just made. So, as you can see, I'm just going all around the inside of the top row of the oval, and I'm just knocking off those corner blocks to give me a shape which should look like that. Now again, the description for that is terrible, but you guys can see what I've done there, right? I've just made a slightly smaller oval, tracing around the inside of the previous oval, and thrown it 1 block higher. Should be simple enough to do. Now, The reason that I've knocked off the blocks which were here and here, like the connecting blocks, is because it will give you more room on the inside. So you may want to do that as well. It's up to you. And also, using this method, if you leave on like the blocks that were present here and here, like on the corners on the sides of the oval, it will make the outside shape look weird when we get onto the next section. So you're going to want to have an oval shape which should look like that. That should be easy enough for you to copy. Once you've done that, we're going to be doing something similar that we did on the previous section, except this time you're going to want to stack 10 rows of black onto this section. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in the exact same fashion that I did with the base level, I'm just going to go all the way around until every block is as high as the marker that I've just placed. So it's both getting dark and I don't really want to leave this in here. So I will be back once I've thrown on my 10 layers of black onto the slightly smaller oval that I've just made. So back in a sec. So this is what it should look like once you've stacked on your 10 layers of black wool. That should now be in total 11 blocks high. Just to reiterate that for you, you started with the 1 layer through 10 on top, 11 blocks high. Once you've reached this point right here, it's time to move on to the next section, and you may notice a pattern starting to unfold. This is what you want to do for the next section. Similar to what we did on the previous, you're going to want to make a smaller oval, 1 block higher and 1 block inwards in relation to the top row of black right here. So you're going to want to have something which, in all honesty, is much more rectangular shape than oval. Still an oval technically, getting closer to a rectangle. You should have something which should now look like that. And as you may notice, again, I've knocked the blocks that existed here and here off, just because I don't want those raised up. Number one, as I said, they will limit the space on the inside, but they will also make the shape look a little bit weird. So I will we'll leave those off. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that, and similar to what we've done 2 times already, once you've made that shape right there, you're going to want to, this time, stack 9 layers on top of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, just like the 2 previous times, you just want to go all the way around until that shape, your square oval hybrid shape, is 9 blocks higher than it is now. So I'm going to be cutting this out again. Don't want to leave it in here. I don't want this to be an extra like 20 minutes long of just you watching me go around in circles. So I will be back once I've raised up the shape. So this is what it should look like once you've stacked on your 9 layers of black wool. That should now in total be 10 blocks high. Start with the 1 through 9 on top, 10 blocks high. That's maths. Once you've reached this point right here, and pause this if necessary of course, here's what you want to do. You'll notice that at the top of the section that you've just made, you'll have a giant rectangular hole. We want to plug that. So what you're going to want to do, 1 block higher than the actual rectangular hole itself, you'll just want to make a rectangular shape that is made to fit it. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that. Somewhat difficult to explain, easy enough to see what I've just done. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, here's what you want to do. In filling in that hole in the top, you have inadvertently made the first row of the ring that sits on top of the anchor. The ring that you can attach stuff to like rope, chain, strawberry cables, whatever you want to attach to an anchor. It's up to you. Here's what you want to do. On top of the, for the sake of this tutorial, let's say we're starting from the front, which could be either side at the moment in all fairness, as it's all symmetrical at the moment, but this is my front as I've placed the bed there. On top of the front row of the rectangle that you've made, so this row of 8 that we'll have here, I've not counted it, but trust me, it's a row of 8, you just want to stack another row of 8 black wool, like so. What you then want to do is then extend out that row by 1 either side, giving you a row of 10. So you want to have something which should look like that. Here's what we're going to do now, and unfortunately we're back to oval shapes again. So coming over to the left hand side of the row of 10 that we've just made, on top of this left block that I've just extended out, here's what you want to do. You're going to want to place one on top of it, then one going left, 4 going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, then one going right, one going up, one going right, one up, 7 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then down one, right one, down one, right one, down by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finally let's finish this off by going left one. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that, and that is a pretty skinny looking oval if you ask me. That needs to be changed. So once you've reached this point right here, and I realise that some of you may not have kept up with that, different abilities and such, this will help you out a little bit. That top row, that long row on top, is 8 in total, and the 2 rows on the sides are 5 in total. Once you know those numbers, that becomes much easier. So pause this if necessary. Once you've done that, here's what we're going to do, and this is somewhat difficult to explain again. A lot of this is, but here's what we want to do. We want to reinforce the oval shape that we've just made. So starting from the inside, starting on the left here, here's what you want to do. And again, this is stuff that's hard for me to explain, but should be easy enough for you to see what I'm doing. You want to add in blocks here and here. Then you want to add an extra row on the left side coming up there. You then want to add on a block here and here, and run a row underneath that top row. Then a block here and here, and then just reinforce the other row on the side, and then throw a block here to give you something which should look like that. That's looking a lot beefier. That's looking a lot suited to purpose now. So that's what you want to have. Again, difficult for me to explain, should be easy enough for you to do, assuming that you managed the first oval. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, here's what we want to do. We're going to want to make this oval shape that we've just done here 3 blocks thick. So it just wants to come over the lid that we've just placed on top of the statue. So just to do that, you just want to bring it over the top like this. You just want to just throw on layers of black. So as we've done oh so many times already on this house. I'm not going to cut this out, however, like with the other parts. This shouldn't take too long. We've only got one more to add now, so you just want to have something once we've finished. That should look a little bit, to give you kind of like an angular view, which should look a little bit like that. So just to give you a front view, as you already know how it looks like, I mean, you just got to add the 2 more layers. Here's what you want to have. Looks a lot better, looks a lot chunkier, a lot meatier. So that is the ring that sits on top of the anchor, just to show you. It's looking a little weird at the moment, kind of looks like a religious statue or something, I don't know. I don't like it. We need to make this more anchor looking. So once you've reached this point right here, once you've done that, once you've made the oval, thrown the 2 layers on top, here's what you want to do. And of course, pause this if you have to catch up. You're going to want to, still at the top of the statue here, you're going to want to come to the sides of the 3rd section that we made right here. And you're going to want to extend out the top 4 blocks from the side coming down. So you just want to do this, like that. What you then want to do, once you've extended out those top 4 blocks coming left here, you're going to want to extend out the 2 middle blocks of those 4 going left by 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the one under it as well. As I said, the 2 middle blocks. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that. So kind of like a T sticking out of the anchor. This is going to be what I can only imagine is meant to be the handles of the anchor. So you're going to want to do that. What you then want to do, on your row of 11, coming over to the outward part of it here, you're going to want to raise up these 2 blocks on top of it here, and underneath it. So you're going to want to have that. What you then want to do, similarly to what we did for the ring at the top of the anchor, you're going to want to then, once you've made that shape right there, is just reinforce it by throwing 2 more layers on top. So it wants to stem the, well, span rather than stem, it wants to span the whole side of the house like this. So, as I said, 3 layers in total to give you something which should look, after you've done it, to give you a front view, something which should look a little bit like that. Pause this if you have to catch up. Once you've done that, we've just got one more thing to add here. So, on the anchor handles, again I'm assuming they're handles, on the ends are little balls, I imagine, to stop it like slipping out of your hands. So you just want to raise up these blocks right here. You essentially want to make a plus shape on the front and the back of the ends of the handles of the anchor that you've just made. I know it's getting a little dark, but you want to make that. And you want to do the same thing on the other side as well. So on the front of the back, you just want to raise up that little plus shape on the end to give you something which, just to show you the back as well, should look like that. So with the plus shape, the ends of the handle should be in total like 5 blocks thick. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that. And I notice it is getting a little dark again, so I'll be back once it's daylight, show you this, and then we will quickly make the other handle. So back in a sec. So just to show you this again in the light, as I don't know whether it's just my TV, but it was becoming very difficult to see. That's what you want to do, and as I said, you just want to raise out this little plus shape here on the end, just to make it look a bit more 3D, make it look a bit more anchor-like. So that's that entire side done for the handle, so pause this if necessary. Once you've done that, we're going to go and do the other side, and we're going to be doing this slightly quicker as it is just a copy of that side right there. So here's what you want to do. Starting things off the same, you're just going to want to raise out these 4 top blocks of the third section going right, so like that. You then want to raise out from these 2 middle blocks of the 4 here to the right by 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the row underneath it as well. So, like so. What you then want to do is raise above and below, just there, can't really describe that, but easy enough to see, to give you the plus shape. What you then want to do is then reinforce the entire shape that you've just made, so you just want to throw on 2 more layers just behind it, like this. That's 1 layer. And that should be the same thickness as the side of the third section of the house. So it should look like that. And that's looking a little flat, if you ask me, a little 2D. So once you've done that, you then of course want to raise out the little plus shape, like so. And you want to do the same thing on the back as well. So just to show you that side. That's what it wants to come up looking like. As I said, did that a little faster. You've already done the first one. If you have any trouble, copy that. Pause this if necessary, of course. Let me just show you what that wants to look all together, like so. It's still looking more like a religious idol to me, but it is getting closer to an anchor. So, alright, so once you've reached this point right here, and pause this if necessary, of course, it's time for us to move on. So you're going to want to come down to the bottom of your house, right here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making the big, giant metal pointy bits of the anchor. I don't know what to call them. They're kind of like hooks. The stuff that digs into the sea floor when you throw the anchor in the ocean. I don't know what to call them, but what I'm going to be referring to them as is the left wing, and that one's going to be the right wing, just so we can understand each other. So we're going to be starting with the left wing first, and you're going to want to come down to the bottom side of your house. So right here. And from this block right here on the front, can you guys see which one that is? Like from here, you're going to want to go left of that block by 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like so. What you're then going to want to do from that 13th block is you're going to want to place a block on top, then a block going left, then a block on top, then a block going left, then a block on top, then a block going left. And then what you're going to want to do on top of that block that you've just went left with is you're going to want to place 10 black on top of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What you're then going to want to do from that top block that you've just placed there is you're going to want to go right of it 1, then up 1, then right 2, 1, 2. Then you're going to want to go down 1, right 1, then down 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you know what? Before I actually do get a bit too far ahead, let me show you what we've actually just made there before we've made it. So you're going to want to have something which so far should look like this. Not too complicated, I hope. You can see that it's kind of anchor shaped. It's going to look a little more anchor shaped once it's finished. It's looking a bit weird now, but trust me, once we're finished. So pause that if necessary. That's what you want to have so far. Continuing on. So you're going to want to, from that last block that you went down with, we went down by 7, you're going to want to go right 1, then down 1, then right 1, down 1, then you're going to want to go all the way to the right from that block until it reconnects with the house, like so. And then on top of that block that reconnects to the house, you're just going to want to place a block on top of it like this. So you're just going to want to have something which should look a little bit like that. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, here's what you want to do. So we've just got a couple of things to do to this before we go ahead and do the other side. So first of all, you're going to want to come up to the highest point here. You're just going to want to place a black block on top of that just to make it look a little pointier. What you're then going to want to do, because we won't be able to do this a little later on, where we have this little gap here, you're just going to want to place a nether brick underneath it, and underneath that, a glass, and underneath the glass, a nether brick again, since there's just a window there. What you're then going to want to do is then just fill in the rest of this open space here in with black wool, and I'll keep this on recording. Why not? Why not? It's not going to take too long, so just fill all of this in like so. Shouldn't take you too long. There we go. So you're going to want to have something which should end up looking a little bit like that. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, we're going to go and do the exact same thing on the other side. So coming over to this other side here, here's what you want to do. You just want to do the exact same thing that you have there. So starting from the back this time, of course, you just want to go 13 to the right, and I'm going to be doing this a little quicker because you don't really have to count anything out. You just have to make sure that it lines up with what you should have in front of you. So really you should just be copying the outline that you have in front of you there. You may want to go to the side sometimes like I am just to make sure that you're copying it right, but other than that it really shouldn't be too difficult. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Is that in line? I think so. Yep. And down 1, then all the way over to the left. 1 on top. Yeah, that lines up perfectly, so you don't even really need instructions, you just need to look at yours and copy it. What you then want to do is, of course, fill this back bit in with black as well. So just fill all of it in with black. I'm not sure whether there's actually anything on the back of this, like Mr. Krabs house-wise. I don't know if there's like another window on the back or anything like that. I suppose it doesn't really matter. I mean, well, it does matter actually to me, but it looks good regardless, is what I was going to say. Regardless of the fact if there is windows on the back, it doesn't really affect it like aesthetics-wise. So this is what you want to have on the back here. What you're then going to want to do is you're going to want to place the little bit of roofing which is on top of these little sections here. So you're just going to want to place nether brick on top of those black blocks that make up the pointy bit of the wing. So there, and the same on the other side as well, like that. And then you're just going to want to, with your nether brick stairs, you're just going to want to do the actual roofing parts like on top of the nether brick that you've placed, and just connect them front to back like I'm doing now. Upside down stairs, damn. Why? So, just do exactly as I'm doing. This stuff doesn't really need explanation. It should be simple enough. So, once you've done that, it just wants to look like that. Just works out like a normal roof. So, pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, here's what we're going to do to finish this off. We're going to fill in the space between the front and the back part of the wing, so just on top, and there'll be a little bit underneath as well on the outer parts where it lifts up off of the floor, so we've just got to do that as well. Fill in the sides. I have no idea how animals manage to always get themselves stuck in my buildings. It's uncanny how often it happens. It happens just about every time, especially on tutorials as well. I don't know why. So that is what you want to have for the left wing of the house so far. We've just got one little thing to do after this. So pause this if necessary. Once you've finished filling it in, we've just got a window to add, and I wanted to wait until this point to add it in since we needed this filled in with black. So the window wants to be positioned right here, and I can't really explain it, but you're going to see quite simply where the window goes once I've just put it in. And it just wants to be like a cross window with a little glass block thrown in the middle. You guys should be able to see quite easily where that is, so that is where you want to have that. And let me just show you it all together. So this is the entire left wing. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we're going to be moving over to the right wing, and of course it's getting a bit dark now, so I'll be coming back once we've got the daylight again. Alright, so once you finish building the left wing, we can move our way over to the right wing, and luckily for us, they share some commonalities. So there are a couple of differences, but for the most part they're the same, especially the black part. The black part is pretty much entirely the same, so I'm going to be making the structure of this a little quicker than I did the other side, as you've already done this once before. So coming over to the right hand side this time, and in the exact same position on this side as you did the other side, you're going to want to, from this block right here, go to the right by 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You're then going to want to place one on top of that 13th block, then one to the right, one on top, one to the right, one on top, one to the right. You're then going to want to go up on top of this right block by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're then going to want to, from this 10th block, go left 1, up 1, left 2, down 1, left 1, down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you're going to want to go left 1, down 1, left 1, down 1, and then go left until it connects back to the house. Then, when it does connect back to the house, this block that connects back to it, you're just going to want to place one on top, just as you did on the other side. So, let me just show you what you want to have made, and it should look exactly like the other side looks, just to compare them. There you go, the exact same. So, once you've finished with this little bit of an outline, and I will give you this view, pause this if necessary, of course, we can start adding in a few details. So, you're going to want to, first of all, throw that block on top of the high point there just to make it look a bit pointier. And what you're going to want to do is place a window on this side just as you did on the other side. And it's the same window, except you're going to want to use spruce wood instead of nether brick. So in this gap here, spruce wood, then a glass underneath it, and a spruce wood underneath that, like so. What you're then going to want to do is just fill in the entire rest of the space in with black wool. And there's no windows or anything on this side other than the one that we just placed, of course. There's no other windows, so you don't have to worry about that. It is just entirely black. As a matter of fact, the only differences now between this side and the other side, like this doesn't have the extra window and this window is made of something else, is there's a little chimney on the roof. So that's all you've got to look out for. So here's where you want to be right now. Pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, we're going to go onto the back and do the exact same thing that we've already done. So whatever method you want to accomplish, you've done this 3 times now, so it should be no trouble whatsoever. Again, just as with the other side, I'm not going to try and give you any instructions when the best thing that you can do for yourself is just have a look straight forward and just copy what you have. There's no need to measure, there's no point, just make sure that it is in line with what you have in front. There's yeah, there we go. I thought that was out of line a little bit there, but it's not. It's lines up perfectly. Just make sure that it's the exact same as it is on the front and you will have no problem. So there you go, the outline there. Pause this if necessary. Once you've done that, you can then just fill it in. And again, just as with the back on this, I don't know if there is anything on the back. Maybe there's another window, but I couldn't find one, so well, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's perfectly fine plain, I think. So there it is, all filled in. Once you've done that, it is time to do the roof. So pause this if necessary, of course, if you're still filling it in. Onto the roof. The roof is, as I said, for the most part the exact same. However, we have got that chimney, but we're going to be adding that in after we've actually done the roofing part of this. So the reason I'm not trying to explain this, of course, is you've done it once before, but also it's quite self-explanatory to just look at what I'm doing. It's just a why does it keep getting placed upside down? It's just a regular roof after all. So just do that. So that's what you want to have for the roof so far. Pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've done this roof right here, the exact same one as you have on the other side, it's time to make it a little different. So you're going to want to come to the side that points away from the house, this side right here, and you want to be on this block right here. Can you see which one? It'll probably be easier when I knock it out. You want to knock out this block right here on the second row, one away from the back, and you want to replace it with grey wool. Place a grey wool on top, and then place a nether brick stairs facing towards you like that. And what that will look like from the front is this. And it's quite inconspicuous, but it's a chimney. I wasn't even sure whether I wanted to have it on the house, but it's on the actual house, so I figured I'd add it. So once you've done that, all you have to do to finish off this wing of the house is, just as you did on the other side, fill in the top and the bottom to some extent in with black wool. So hopefully a little less clumsier than I am. Just fill in all of the open spaces in with black wool. So just going around, and we've just got this little bit here. Half expected a sheep to walk out of there like it's walking onto a pitch. And there we go, that is the wing, airtight. That is the right wing completely done. Nothing else to it, just that little window, the roof, and of course the little bit of a chimney that isn't present on the other side. So just to show you it all together, both of them, and as a matter of fact the anchor as well. It's looking pretty anchory if you ask me. Alright, so the first thing you want to do after you have finished doing both wings of the house is we need to make an entrance of this place. So you're going to want to come to the bottom front of the house, right here, where it all started, and you're going to want to knock out these blocks right here. I'm not going to try and explain this. I'm just going to do it, and you guys should quite easily be able to see what I've done. Notice that there is a cow in there, and I'm not even remotely surprised that there is more than one animal lurking in there. So you're going to want to knock out that shape. You're then going to just want to place 2 wooden doors right there, and then oak wood planks all around the doors. The cow can get locked in, it doesn't matter. It lives in there now. So you're going to want to have, for an entrance, something that looks like that. And you could equally so use spruce wood planks. On the actual Mr. Krabs house, there is a clear distinction between the colour of the window there and the entrance. However, you know, it depends how hardcore you want to get, to be honest. But that is the entrance of the house right there. Very simple to do. Close as I could get it. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we've got a window to do. So the window is on the second section right here, and from the bottom, starting from the right, it is the third block in. So, or you want to start from the third block in, I should say. So 1, 2, 3, knock that third block out, and then you just want to make a plus shape with that block that you knocked out first being the bottom part of the plus. And then, just as like with the window on the left wing of the house, it is just dark grey with a glass in the center. So you just want to have that right there, and if you want to see where it is in relation to the door, if that helps you at all, it's right there. Very simple to do, nothing much to it whatsoever. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we have just one more window to add. So we have a window on the third section of the house, the upper part of the house right here. Here's how you want to find where you want to put it. So you want to be in the top left hand corner right here of the front. You want to be on the second block in now, and you just want to then go down by 2, so second block in still, 1, 2, knock out that block, the 2 to the right of it, so you've knocked out 3 blocks. You then want to knock out the 3 below, and then the 3 below that, so you're giving yourself a nice little 3 by 3 space there. What you then want to do is make a plus shape with your nether brick, like that, and then just place glass block everywhere else, like so. And that's the window. It's not the nicest looking window, but it is accurate, so it wants to be right there. You should have no trouble finding that, I would hope. So just to show you what you want to have overall, since we are just about done, we've only just got one more thing to do after this, you're going to want to have something which should look like that. Alright, so once you've reached this point right here, and pause this if necessary of course, it's time for us to do the most dreaded part of this tutorial. And that's the chain that attaches to the anchor. So I've got to show you a couple of things down here before I move up there first, just because it will be easier to show you here than it will be up there, since there's going to be blocks interlocking and overlapping each other. It's just going to be simpler. So here's what the chain's made out of. The first link in the chain, the first link that attaches to that big ring up there, is going to look like this. It's going to be 3 on the tops and bottom, and it's going to be 5 blocks long. So it's going to look like that, and that's the first link. There's only one that is that big, and it has to be that big to accommodate the ring up there. So it's going to look like that, and that might not be entirely obvious had I just went up and done it up top. And then, after that, every other link in the chain is going to look like this. It is 5 long, and it is just 2 blocks on the top and the bottom, like that just connect to each other diagonally. I figure if I show you this, it might be easier to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing when I go up there, because I'm not going to be able to describe any of it, not really. I can just show you what I'll be doing. So that's going to be the first link, and then every other link after that is going to look exactly like this one, except it's going to be positioned differently. So let's get to it. So the first link is positioned right here, so from this block right here on the right, although it really doesn't matter, put the chain where you want. You want to do this. 1, 2, 3, since it's positioned sideways. A diagonal, come over to the right by 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on right diagonal, down 2, because it's got a side of 3. And then it wants to loop back around underneath the ring and connect diagonally, that's why there's not a block there, to the other part of the link there. So it wants to look like that. I don't know whether that would have been obvious to you had I just started off with that, but wanted to make sure. I want you guys to be able to make this properly, so you want to have that. What you then want to do is this. So you're going to want to do a link, one of the small ones, like this, kind of like a position sideways, linking onto the big one like that, like it should be somewhat obvious for you to see what I've done there. And as I said, these are just 4 long, 2 on the ends, like that. And here's where it gets easier. And onto this one, we're just going to do another link right here. And oops, I destroyed a block by accident. And it just wants to look like this. So down 3 here, and then I keep destroying the wrong blocks. And then diagonals here. That wants to connect back together there diagonally. And then you want to do another one. And the way that I've done mine is that I want them to be coming over to the left here and like backwards. But you know, you can position the chain however you'd feel. So again, I don't know if there's a better way that I can show you this, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to be placing this next one on the back here and a bit more over to the, well, I suppose depending how you look at it, it'll be coming over to the right here, but that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to leave this in, although it is going to be quite a tedious process. I've got quite a few more to make. I'm going to leave this in. Why not? And the only difference is, after you've done the first initial few links, is the positioning of them. Like, they're all the same, it's just alternating really between which way they're facing, like this way or that way, so you could mix it up a little bit, I suppose, like you could have some facing different ways or some positioned differently, attaching to the other links differently, like instead of it being on this one, it could be on this one, if it matters to you, I don't know. But I want it going in a particular direction. That's I want them going in one direction is what I'm basically telling you. Just... is that too long? No, it's not. I am unfortunately not immune to mistakes. I wish I were. I'd be trying and talking more, but I want to make sure that I'm doing these right. Yeah, there we go. And the reason that I wanted them coming this way... whoops. 1, 2, 3. More predominantly, number 1 in the actual house, it comes over this way. The actual... oops. The actual chain comes over this way in the house, like as you look at it from the front. But I didn't want the chain to be hidden as you looked at it from the front, is all. So... just the final one to do here, and it's just lost in the ground a little bit, so there you go, just to show you from the side. I'm really sorry that I couldn't really provide more of an insight or anything, but it wants to look like that from the side. It's a little tedious to do, sure, but I think it gives a cool effect. So that's what it wants to look like from the side. I mean, I can give you a bit more of a close-up if you don't quite understand how to do it. Like that, pause that if you need to, and maybe this view as well. Pause that if necessary. Let me show you how. That might be a good view for you to see how they all link together, maybe. I don't know. It's not too hard, really, I suppose. I might be just making something big out of something small, but there you go. Mountains out of molehills. But anyway, let me destroy these rings here, and then let me give you the old tour of the house, because once you are finished with the chain, there's nothing left to do. That is the house 100% complete. This tutorial is completely over. There is nothing more to do. Let me just give you a nice 360-degree view of the house and just see what I mean by the chain. Like, I wanted it to be visible on the front like this, like if you looked at it like that. I wanted it to be obvious that there was something back there. I wish it did come over to the right a little bit, and you could make the linkages bigger if you wanted to. I didn't really want to. Depends how you want to do it. So This is probably one of the more complicated houses that I've shown you guys how to make. I've shown you guys how to make some stuff, but I hope it's been easy enough to follow. Anyway, I mean, I think I've broke it down nicely. I think I've made it easy enough to understand, or at least I hope I have. It's not too difficult, I suppose. The only difficult parts maybe would maybe be the wings and maybe be the circular ring on top of the anchor, but I don't know about that. It's a cool looking house, though. I really do like it. It's completely different. That's why I like doing themed houses. If I hadn't have, had this to work off, I'd never make anything like this. Like, I'd just make your bog standard houses or castles or something, but I really like it when I get to make stuff like this, like a Squidward's house and SpongeBob's house and stuff. It's really different. I like it. Probably said that about 4 times now, but I do. So that is Mr. Krabs' house, 100% completo. There's no interior, as explained at the beginning of the video. They're not my deal. I'm not going to do them. So, once you have reached this point right here, there is absolutely no more to do. As I said, I really do hope that it was easy enough to follow. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. I think I'm going to try and get SpongeBob's house out. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, maybe you should think about subscribing. I have plenty more stuff like this on my channel. I have tutorials ranging from YouTube statues, skin statues, houses, pixel art, the list goes on. Thanks for watching.